When ChatGPT launched, it opened the imagination of the world as to what was possible from AI.
I can write this paper in half the time. I can generate this picture and give me all sorts of new ideas. I think it's going to be huge.
Oh wow, generative AI, man. I'd create a startup if I knew the answer to that one, right?
If you look at where generative AI has transformed recently, it's really starting to gain broader adoption for businesses, companies, even just regular people to understand how it can change and transform their lives.
Where I think generative AI is heading is probably not the Jetsons, and let's hope it's not the HAL 9000 or something like that, right? The dystopian kind of thing. What I think generative AI is here for, and where it will go, is the smaller changes that will improve our lives and make it easier to go about business, to go about our day-to-day existence, to help with those little tasks like producing automation to manage servers or Kubernetes or OpenShift, right? Integrating those systems to where the barrier to expressing what we want is even lower than it is today, to make that scalable and trustworthy and reliable.
I think generative AI is going to keep getting more and more impressive. I think we're going to see more and more innovation, all driven by open source. And I think the big thing we're going to see is businesses more quickly learning how to use generative AI specifically in their own businesses. We're going to see them understand how to apply capabilities like tuning and like training to their own specific business domain. I think it's really important, though, that the industry mature in overall governance, making sure that we're not creating generative AI models that are extremely biased, that are prejudiced, that are going to lead us to just wrong conclusions because of us not using the full set of data when we train them. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the regulation space around this, and also to see how we build some really great open source capabilities to give us better guardrails around all of that.
What ChatGPT really did was make AI so consumable and so accessible that people, regardless of their background, could see the benefit it provided. That launched an initial movement where enterprises and customers were looking at how they could build their own foundation models from scratch, reinvent ChatGPT from the ground up. Didn't take long for everyone to realize like it's really expensive and that's really hard. So having the money to be able to support that environment or the skills to be able to produce that wasn't all that likely. Then things shifted toward tuning. So they were going to use their data, but they were still ultimately going to build a new model out of that data. So they would apply it to an existing model, but they would end up with a result that was more catered to their use case. And that was a very popular pattern. Now what we're seeing is that this RAG pattern, so retrieval augmented generation, is really taking off because it still allows customers to apply their data to models, but they don't have to retrain models. So your time to value is really quick. The data you can provide, you can iterate on it quickly. It's generally at customers' fingertips. They have their knowledge bases, they have their product documentation. You just have to apply that to a generative AI model and you're able to get pretty quick results. I think we're going to continue to see that transition toward easy consumption and application of generative AI.
I think it's transformative. I think it's the new UI. I think it's going to be huge.
I see generative AI as at its infancy right now. I don't even think we have explored the total possibilities that can be, where we can use this technology. There's some examples I have around the fitness tracker I'm wearing or my bank that have already built AI-infused applications. Red Hat has AI-infused applications as well called Ansible Lightspeed, which is code generation, which boils down to employee productivity.
I think businesses are starting to see how AI can help them not only be more productive as a company, but also how to grow differentiation and really use AI for the good of the business and for the good of people. In healthcare, we're hearing a lot about how they can use AI to come up with new molecules, new medicines, how to save lives, how to detect disease faster. I think the power of the transformation with AI is going to be huge across everything we do.